What's one of your craziest life experiences?
I was at the beach one day and there's a playground, like a playground set on the beach. I was barefoot. I'm like, let me climb this like really tall ladder on the playground. So I do that. I was like really young at the time, like around 10, 11. There's like this one kid. He's like right under me and he's like tugging at my foot, like trying to like make me slip and fall. I'm like, what the fuck? Get away from me. And he wouldn't listen. So I end up like kicking him in the face and he fell down. He starts crying and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. But then like 5 minutes later, like I'm like sipping on like Capri Sun or some shit. I decide to do the same exact like thing. I was climbing on the ladder and all I fucking feel is my legs just like, I don't know, they just flew off of the ladder. What ended up happening was his mom just like fucking, I was like at like almost at the top and she just like grabbed both of my feet and pushed me down. My entire chin was like split open. I had to go to the hospital. And a cop, he like seen me like crying and like bleeding. He's like, man, what's wrong with you? I'm like, man, this lady just pushed me down, but she ran away with her son. And he's like, oh my God. And then he took me to my parents. My parents freaked out. And I went to the hospital, got stitches, cried even more. That's about it.
All right, so this one time, right, I was doing the security job with the homie, and we were just trying to protect this empty house because people were jacking copper from it. Anyways, we go into his house and everything, like we start drinking or whatever. Turns out this guy was like uber gay, and I didn't realize it. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but like he was just really gay. So he was like, hey man, you want to see my paintings? I'm like, yeah, sure. We go into his garage, right, and then he's like showing me all these paintings. I'm like, oh, they're cool ass art. Yeah, that. He's like, yeah, do you know what's so special about them? I'm like, no, what's special about them? He's like, well, I don't use paint per se. I'm like, well, then what do you use? And he's like, I use gum. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I use gum. And I'm like, well, that's pretty weird. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, do you want to make $300? And I'm like, how? He's like, well, I'll leave the room and you just jerk off into this painting and I'll just use your to paint this picture or to paint this painting. And I'm like, no. Suffice to say, it was the easiest $300 I made.
I'll tell you guys, this is the story about how me and my friends on the 4th of July couldn't get access to regular fireworks, so we decided to make our own, and in the course of doing that, created improvised explosives. Summer between middle school and high school, and so it's me and my group of friends. We're trying to figure out something to do because we always hang out together, and we decided to make some fireworks, right? We don't know where to buy any, we don't know anybody who could buy us any, so we go to the Kmart or whatever store, I don't remember, and we bought 3 cans of Axe body spray, a roll of neon pink duct tape, lighter fluid, and a lighter. Take all 3 cans that we bought, we duct tape them together, and we lit it, and we all fucking ran to our places, got behind cover, and we waited for it to explode. And sure enough, after a couple seconds, it was a pretty cool explosive. But what had happened was there was still 1 can left. It didn't explode. 2 of the 3 cans exploded. One of my friends has the bright idea to suggest that we kick the other can out of the way. So me and one of my other friends, we decide we're gonna be the ones to do it. And he's the tallest out of all of us. He barely taps it. Like my hand is his foot. He just boop, knocks it over, and you hear it like to this day. I don't know if I'm just making this up in my head or if this is something I heard, but I heard it go tink or hit the ground, and then it just exploded right in front of the both of us. And so instinctively, I put my hands up to cover my face. Like it's literally a fireball rushing straight towards me and my friend. So like it takes a good like half second to a second for me to realize what just happens. And I see this, and I just start screaming at the top of my lungs. And my friends are like looking at like, why is he freaking out? What the fuck's happening? And then I show them, and they start screaming, and we just go into a full panic mode. Like we do not know how to handle this. We're a bunch of 15, 16-year-old kids, and I just sustained like a serious wound. Like I learned later, the whole wound was 2nd degree. I had another burn on the middle of my hand that was 3rd degree. I had another one on my face, right to the side of my eye. Like if my hands hadn't gone up to protect me, it could have hit me in my face. Like it would have. I could have lost my eyes. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you're gonna censor this out or But we would do deals, me and my friends. We told him to meet up at a gas station or supermarket. It was a supermarket that I remember. It was super sketchy. They pull up, had his hoodie like tightened so we wouldn't see the description of how he looked like. He walked into the car, he opened the door, hand me everything, whatever you got. He pointed the gun basically face to me. I saw the barrel and I didn't know what to do. I froze. I'm freaking out because, I had a gun pointed at my face and, you don't know what to do at that point. And like, I see the guy just grab everything from the car and just throw it into his car. Like, there was 3 people. The guy in the car actually drove off and I looked over to my left and I see the guy that actually pointed the gun at me is trying to escape, but he couldn't escape because my friend actually had him in a headlock. I went running over. I started bashing on his head so hard. I'm not sure if he's okay. I don't know if he's dead. I don't know if he's alive. We just drove as fast as we can out of there. We drove 30 or 40 miles to lose a profit. We only saw one video of him getting his ass beat, and at that point I don't know if he's alive or dead. I'm 100% sure he's dead. I've actually gotten PTSD because of that, and why I don't do that, transaction anymore. I just do not recommend doing transactions illegally like that. It's super sketchy. You never know what's gonna happen.
I was in high school and I was probably about, I want to say 15, and there was an actor who I can't name. He was visiting for the summer and I met him through some of my friends and we were like hanging out the whole summer and he liked me, right? And so we're like talking and like we have like a thing going. Anyway, we're like talking and I never ended up Googling him at the beginning. And he had told me that he was like, he's told me he was like a year older than me, right? And then right before he leaves to go back to LA at the end of the summer, I had finally Googled him and I found out he lied to me about his age through IMDb. Like, I literally had Googled his name, and on his IMDb, it said he was, like, actually a year younger than me. Whenever he was leaving to go to LA, I, like, still went and said bye to him, and he, like, tried to kiss me. And I, like, pushed him off because it was just, like, weird. Like, why are you lying about your age? Like, you're actually 2 years younger than what you said you were. And, yeah, and he went back to LA, and I don't think we ever talked again.
Subscribe to Alex Creed for croissants.
That's so good.